Hello, hello. How are you, Alex?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Good, 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 good. So, Alex, tell me more about yourself.
Well, my name is Alex Hurt. I am a graduate of Dartmouth College, where I then went on to become a financial advisor, secretly
Secretly.
wanting to be a filmmaker. I've been wanting to be a filmmaker ever since I was 5 years old, and I watched The Matrix
Woohoo!
because it was actually the first film I had on DVD and the
Yeah.
first time that I saw behind the scenes footage, and it just blew my mind.
Cool, 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 cool. So, why did it inspire you? Like, why the Matrix?
Well, depending on who you ask, you could say I've been storytelling since I was
Yeah.
3. My parents brought me Legos, and the first thing I would do is try to create, stories around them.
Okay.
But when you're a child, you think that movies just kind of happen, like they just kind of just like exist. But The Matrix was the first time that I understood that they're like being made by a person, that a person actually sits down, writes it, gets a camera, shoots it. And once I figured out that that was possible for me to make it, that was it. Like this is what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Are you still doing it secretly, or?
No.
No.
I make a lot of films. I was being sarcastic. A lot of the people around me knew that I wanted to be a filmmaker. A lot of the people at my job did not. But I've been since then. For my church, I would make puppet shows for the kids, and we would film. Make our own little superheroes. With sometimes a little scarier
Be
than
honest.
I would intend.
Be honest,
but-
Alex. Tell me everything.
Yeah, sometimes, they were definitely supposed to be for 5-year-old children. That's what I was hired to do, but, didn't always achieve that. They were sometimes a little scarier, a little deeper than what you would expect for a 5-year-old, but they all loved them. Everybody loved them.
Cool. So, tell me about your movie this year.
So my movie is entitled Death's Wager. It was born out of a desire after COVID to just make a film because at the moment we were able to safely be within each other's vicinity, I wanted to make something. But when I set out to make it, I told myself, hey, Alex, we're gonna make something small, quick, and easy, like absolutely easy. So I was like, okay, we're just going to make it about 2 people sitting at a bench. You cannot get easier than that. There's no possible way you can make that sophisticated. Because I have a history of making my films much bigger, much more epic, and much grand, which is great. But then they take longer than I tell everyone they're going to take because we end up adding a whole bunch of stuff, which they end up loving.
We're filmmakers.
Exactly. But I said, no, this time we're going to do it
I
easy.
promise.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be quick. See, 1-day shoot, that's it. But
I knew it was going to get better.
Exactly. So I read the script like, this is great. This is a good story. It's fun. It has great characters. But we could, and then once from then, everybody kind of collectively rolled their eyes and say, all right, what are we gonna do? So that's when we decided that we were going to add the science fiction setting and film at the Grand Canyon and add in all these fantastic visual effects and all these other kind of things.
Cool.
Next time, it'll be simple.
Don't promise us anything, Alex. Do
Next
not.
time.
So tell me about the visual effect part of the movie.
So we had an absolutely fantastic visual effects artist named Paul DeNegris, who is a teacher at ASU, a professor at ASU, and very, very passionate filmmaker here in Arizona. This is my first time ever having a visual effects company work the film, and this is my first time having other people in charge of post-production at all, really. I'm so used to editing everything. I'm so used to doing the visual effects. But this is my first time ever doing it, and he was very patient with me because, when you're doing it yourself, it's very easy to be like, I like that, and then you sleep over it the next day. I don't like it anymore, change it back, and then you sleep on it the next day. You know what? That actually was the good idea. So and you can do that with no problem at all. But when you have when you're having other people do it, it can get kind of frustrating when you say, I like it, it's great. But
you always have to start your sentence with, I like it, it's great.
Yeah.
And then you wait like for 2 seconds.
Exactly.
But
Exactly. So he was very patient with me, and then we were able to get this done, and it just looks incredible.
Cool. So tell me about your experience at Misfit Film Festival.
So I met Danita at another film festival, actually, and she's a very, unique person and very memorable
Yes,
person.
she is.
And she kind of hinted at this festival to me. It was too late that year that I had done it to submit, but a couple of my friends were in it, so I went to go check it out, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a great collection. So I was determined that when I made my own film that I was going to submit it this time around.
Cool.
And then, of course, the world came to an end. But after the world came to an end, then I was going to put something in, put it in the festival.
Cool. Any new projects?
Yeah, so I am planning. I have the next, essentially, 3 projects I want to do picked out. Right now we're in their very simple, easy stage, but I don't expect that to last too much longer. So I
knowing you.
Yeah, exactly. So I am, I have my crew together. We're gonna do an action short because like I said, The Matrix was my inspiration.
Cool.
So doing martial arts battles is something of a
it's
a
difficult though.
No, it's extremely difficult, and it requires so much more time than I think people understand. But in my opinion, like, it's one of the biggest ways that Hollywood is dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Because there's really no excuse for them because they have millions of dollars in months to make their films. But in my opinion, there's been a decline really in quality across the board, but especially in action sequences, like across the board. Like, the example I always use is the Spider-Man films. If you were to look at Sam Raimi's early Spider-Man films, and then you look at the Spider-Man films they're making today, it's like these ones were made by 6-year-olds. It's just so action has to be handled with care. And everything has to be handled with care, but violence especially has to be handled with care, and it takes a lot of planning. And I have fantastic people to work with that are gonna help me do that.
Cool. Alex, thank you a lot for this interview. Thank you a lot for participating with us in this film festival, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, sir.